also, and we'll do the live transcript, just enable. All right. Working. All right. Yes, it is. Okay. So, thank you guys. We're going to go ahead and get started. So we have a quorum here with Conray, Dan, and myself. And Dave, thanks for joining. And also we have Red from time to time. All righty. So this is the February 3rd Lake Boon Commission meeting, 11 a.m. starting at 11:02. And our only agenda item here is just to finalize our warrant articles for the herbicide treatment. So that's what we will do, and then finish up right after that. So I sent out, and I can also share, maybe. We'll try that. Let's see, share screen. Okay. Okay. There. Okay. So this is, can folks see this now on here?
Yes.
Yep. Straight anyway. I have multiple screens.
All right, good for you. Last time I tried multiple screens, somehow it managed to hose my my speaker from the laptop, so I'm just not doing that at the moment. So after our last meeting, we talked about kind of what we need to do. Our realities are we don't have a signed contract, so we are now looking at, we have to have a sense of how much we'll need to spend this spring, which is still obviously in this fiscal year, and then the next full fiscal year, which takes us through spring of, basically until the end of June of next year, 2023. So that's what we're doing. And so we're really, obviously, we're using some informed estimates, but they are just estimates. We don't have a signed contract. We don't know milestones. We don't know anything. We don't know, contracted treatment exactly. So,
although I think we can give a little bit of an update that Denise did, and Red and I did meet with Solitude, who was, we got no bidders lower than them, and had a heart-to-heart discussion about how we want a really positive relationship and so on. I won't get into that. And I think we can relaunch that into a better relationship. But yep. The contract from them, they bid $43,875, and Denise is now working on a contract to specify that includes both the full year's treatment according to our regular schedule with a sonar year, and it also includes setting aside time for a close communication with the Healthy Lake Boon initiative to make sure that we're really integrating these two efforts. The long and short of that is that $43,875, well, not a final contract, is at least enough for us to work through the numbers that we've got here.
Yes, and as I said, so that really is a calendar year. Yep. From that perspective, and doesn't include next spring's.
Right.
So, okay. So when we talked last week, we wanted to make sure that we had kind of thought in terms of that we might need some additional, which usually is in the contract also, is that we can have additional treatments, but at a certain price depending on what's needed. And so we wanted to make sure we had some buffer in case that's needed, especially given that there was probably a booster that should have been done this year and wasn't. So these working through the numbers, I think we talked about making sure we had about 5,000. And the second one here, it kind of does go through that. So what I did was I basically said, given that we have a healthy balance right now for both Hudson and Stow for the remainder of FY22, and we may choose to have additional treatment sometime before July, which would be the beginning of the year. I just bumped up our estimate for the spring treatment to 25,000. So it may be closer to 22, 23, somewhere in that range, but we wanted to be, in a position that we were solid there. So that's where you see, you can see my little finger there, showing the 25. And if we had to spend 25,000 in this coming spring before the beginning of the next fiscal year, that's funds we already have. So you can see in this column, this is the balance we have, and we can cover that no problem with balance that we have from last year's warrant. So then that gives us some balance still in those accounts, and then giving an estimate of $33,000 for then the next full year. So in other words, the remainder of this calendar year and then the spring treatment for the following year is what we need to be looking at. And that we estimated at 33. And if we net out what we already have in what will carry over, assuming we paid the 25,000, will carry over still a little bit of a balance. Here you can see a small balance in Hudson and a large balance in Stow. And therefore our net ask would be, to the cents, right? If we use dollars and cents, that's where we get the 8,000 for Stow and the 10,000 there. We just made a, rounding because they don't really like those kind of numbers, at Warrant. So 8,500 for Stow, who has the much larger buffer right now left in the account, and 10,000 for Hudson. So that's the one I think is closest, Dan, versus the other one gives us like a $7,000 buffer, which is probably a little more than we need. So any questions?
One, Chris.
What's that?
I'd take the 7K buffer for sure. We're playing with futures that we don't understand right now. So remember, if we underestimate this, it's hell to get money.
Yep.
So they almost force you into having a good conservative estimate in terms of you got to know you have enough no matter what, and not having a contract in place. What if that 44,000 jumped to 50,000?
Yeah, I agree with Conrad. I think it's better to have of those two options, the bigger buffer.
Okay. So I don't think I need to walk through this. It would net out to say that we would be asking Stow for 9,500 incremental to what's going to remain in the count as a carryover, and 11,000 for Hudson. So those are the amounts we would be putting into the warrant article, the 9,500 and the 11,000.
Remember, Chris, that if we have a little bit more money in the warrant articles than we actually need, it just carries forward anyway.
Yeah.
It's not like budget money. It doesn't go away.
Right. Well, and thank you for reminding us of that. I don't think I had completely, processed that. I know last year, the year before, Hudson was like asking, well, do you really need, that much and whatever. And I did not, I think, completely understand the process there. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I have a few scars when I learned it.
Yeah. All right. So then are there any other questions or additions? Or I don't know that we want to go above. I mean, I can show you one that's above 7,000, but
I'm okay with it. I'll make a motion that we approve the 7K buffer, or rounded numbers, in Stow and Hudson as presented on the spreadsheet. And I guess, Dan, from minutes, we should just call out the two numbers, the Stow warrant article of 9,500, Hudson warrant article of 11,000.
Correct. I think that would be our motion, Conray, is to approve the amount of 9,500 for Stow and 11,000 for Hudson.
Agreed.
Yep. I second.
All right. Go ahead, Conray.
No, that was.
You were before I even got any
Yeah.
further discussion? All right. No further discussion, then all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and that is a roll call of Dan, Conray, and myself unanimously. Okay, and so the wording will be as reflected down in the bottom of that email. I will add in the amounts and get those over. We're way ahead on Stow, but Hudson is due today, so I will get that to both of them, and then they'll have them, and I will provide a little bit of explanation, but not overly.
Yeah, don't provide, you just tell them it's a weed budget and then let them ask the questions and provide
Yep.
it later on.
Yep, exactly.
I agree.
Yep. All right, then the only other thing we had was whether we want to set a date for our next meeting. I don't know.
So one factor that affects that is if we have a contract to approve with Solitude. Denise said she would try to have that to them by the end of this week. I know they want to nail it down quickly. And so we may want to have a meeting, I'm guessing like that week of the 14th to the 18th to approve their contract.
Okay, so we had tentatively thought maybe February 23rd or 24th from our last meeting, but you're saying you think we might need to pull that in at least a week?
Yeah, well, let's see how it goes. But the sooner, because we want to get they are poised to start the conversations with the Healthy Lake Boon Initiative, and that's crucial.
Okay.
And they said that this was the time to do it before, they start doing the measurements and so on. So the sooner we get that in place, the better.
Okay.
Dan, did you talk to Denise any more about the conditions we want to put in the contract?
I did not. Did you?
No, not other than what we did during that call. But I
Yeah.
think there are some things beyond just termination options. Things like sparser trays, things like adding some more sample points. I
Yeah.
think there's at least two or three things. I can jot her a note if you'd like.
If you would, please. Thank you, Red.
Okay, will do.
Okay, so it sounds like maybe the 16th or the 17th of February, Dan.
Sure. Yeah.
So we'll at least put that in the minutes, and we'll kind of go based on feedback that you get from Denise and when that what the date
Yep.
for signing that contract becomes.
Okay.
All right.
Just
Then-
remember, that's boat show week.
Oh, no.
Plus the boat show
Uh,
You
starts
don't
on
need
the
another
15th.
boat, do you, Conray?
I'm sorry?
I said you don't need another boat, do you?
Oh, no, you always go to the boat show. So 5 years from now, when you're looking for a used one, you've seen it when it was new.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's good. All right. So do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Aye.
Have a good day,
All
all.
right. Thanks, everybody,
All
for
right,
being
thanks.
clear.
All right,
All
bye-bye.
right. Bye-bye.
Aye.
Thank you. Bye.